gentlemen, of third Loftus, car number 4, Larry Thompson. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned, the street stock's ready to come out over on the far side. Just fairly quick. But there he is, ladies and gentlemen, your winner in tonight's Super Stock feature event, Larry Schwenneman. And first of all, Larry, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
That's 3 races in one night.
Something new for me.
Something new for a lot of people. The class is so tough, it's very difficult to win a heat in a feature in one night, much less 2 features in a heat race.
Well, it just depends on the draw. If you draw bad, you're in trouble, but I've been drawing good tonight, so I got lucky.
Once again, great race. Not bad for a prematurely gray race driver.
Thanks.
Larry Schwenneman, ladies and gentlemen, your winner in tonight's feature event for the Super Stocks. Streeters will be out in just a second for the next to the last feature event on tonight's racing program. Sit tight, we'll be right back. Street stocks from Brainerd, from North Central Speedway, from down in Princeton, the North Twin City metropolitan area. A lot of the drivers, of course, coming a long way to compete with us here tonight. But it's feature time for the street stocks, and this should be a dandy. Actually, what we're doing is we're matching up the best of the bunch here at the North Central Motor Speedway against the best of the cars from the Princeton Speedway. Don Wormter, Brainerd on the inside. On the outside, Troy Jordan. Wayne Joseph on the inside. The 78 on the outside, that's John England. Dan Jacobs, the current point leader from Brainerd. Third row inside. On the outside, Greg Berry in car number 22. Ed Wheeler in car number 28 down on the inside. In the street stock lineup. On the outside, once again, the number 75 of Mike Jones out of Onamia, Minnesota. Car number 40, back it up, the number 48 automobile of Dan Brandt from Isle, Minnesota. On the outside, Rick Haugland in 07. Down on the inside, the number 26 of Jim Robin. On the outside, car number 58, Billy Joe Meyer. Car number 5 down on the inside, that's Roland Hill out of Aiken, Minnesota. 510 on the outside. Billy Joe Walker from McGrath, Minnesota. Car number 66, Jim Hengel on the outside, the number 99 automobile. And on they go. We'll pick up the rest of them. Hopefully the green flag out, and we are underway. So hang on to your hats, folks. Action on the backside now. The number 28 car does a spin backside. So we'll try it all over again. The 28 car, backside of the race. When they try to keep track of it. Dan Jacobs, third row on the inside. The guy who currently is atop the point standings here at North Central Motor Speedway. And always a real tough competitor. So some great racers in this one. And the green flag comes out once again, and we'll try it and see what we can do. On the racetrack once again, and your early leader, Don Wormter in car number 6, getting way up high on the outside. Wayne Joseph staying down low. Dan Jacobs in car number 71. Backside of the racetrack now, as we go. Still Don Wormter up front, your leader on the backside. Dan Jacobs looks like he may be having some problems. Then again, maybe not. Still Don Wormter, Troy Jordan up high on the outside, and Troy goes around just a little bit too far. He and Lee England come together. Down low on the inside is Dan Jacobs. Really pressed, I believe, a rear tire in the number 71 automobile. So Dan Jacobs and the real match does not come about, as Dan Jacobs, the top dog here at Brainerd, and he is in the pits with a blown tire. Over on the far side now, Troy Jordan, and they kind of come together, still keep going, all kind of locked together situation, and the yellow will come out. So Lee England, or back it up, John England up front, your leader. We may go back a lap, and that may change, but we will get you a revised lineup and do this all over again. And let's see. Okay, now we got that. So John England will move into the number 2 spot, I believe, followed by, should be Wayne Troseth, I think, in number 47. Well, we won't. But once again, we go back a lap, and that makes all the difference in the world, folks. And Billy Joe Meyer, car number 58, and I don't mean for a minute to try and get the lineup for you, but Greg Berry, car number 22. Car number 58, Billy Joe Meyer, well, car number 75, Mike Jones. And, you know, Mike, despite the fact, boy, I'll tell you, he really got crunched in car number 75. Still hanging in there, the 07 of Rick Hauglin. Car number 007, Matt Dickinson. Rick Hauglin sounds just a little shaky in the number 07 automobile. Big Mopar back there, the 66 car, Jim Hengel, sponsored by Boone Rapids Chrysler Plymouth. Car number 48, Dan Brandt. Dan Brandt, by the way, was a partner in that car last year with Todd Reiser, who is in the modified cars this year, and Todd's father decided to get involved in racing this year. So in contrast to what usually happens, usually the father races and eventually the son gets interested and it becomes a second generation thing. I don't know what you call it when it goes the other way around. But as we said, in the Reiser family, the first Reiser to race was Todd, the backside. One more feature event coming up after this. That'll be for the modifieds. And that should also be a dandy, as we've got probably as fine a field of modifieds on hand here tonight as we've had for a long time. Once again, Don Wormter will lead him around. The 78 of John England in the number 2 spot. Number 3, Troy Jordan in car number 3 in the number 3 spot, followed by Wayne Troseth in car number 47. Greg Berry right behind Wayne Troseth in car number 22. Once again, out of Romania, car number 75, Mike Jones. And Mike has, boy, had a rough night, as the car shows it. Billy Joe Meyer, car number 58. The 07 of Rick Hauglin. Dan Brandt in 48. The 28 of Ed Wheeler. 66 is Jim Hengel, car number 26. Jim Robin, car number 56. Pat O'Brien, who, by the way, is the defending champion in this class, followed by Roger Anderson, the 27 of Mark Jacobs. Car number 3, Joe Bean. Joe Bean, who was one of the provisional starters, so to speak. Well, Roland Hill's going to get back in the action in the number 5 automobile, as he will fall in at the tail end. Got the tire changed, and he's ready to run. Dan Jacobs, we have not seen as yet, and he can still get out here and fall in at the tail end if they can get that car race ready down in the pits. 20 laps. Here in a feature event, we've got, what, 1 down, 19 to go. We got 2 down. Good deal. Okay. Okay, looks like we're just about set to go. And Kurt Group will looking the cars over. Don Wormter, your leader, and the green flag comes out, and we are back underway. Okay. Well, that was short. Too sweet. Tough break for Dan. Looks like he lost the wheel and the whole works on the right front, so that could be the end of the program tonight for Dan Brandt. Once again, from Don Wormter up in the front to Roland the Chief Hill back at the tail end of the field, and we've lost a couple of cars. Started out with 22, I believe, and I think we're down to 18 right now. Green flag coming out. to kind of wonder how long the 78 car was going to last. John having some problems early on and tried to get out of there but couldn't, so opts now to go down in the infield, and he'll head back toward the pits, which I believe. I think he's got a flat in car number 78 and about 3-4, I suppose. Currently up to around the number 12 spot or so. Let's see if we can pick that up for you. Yeah, not too bad a guess. Number 12, Joe Bean in the number 3 car. You might want to keep an eye on Joe. Green flag comes on. We're back underway. It is still Don coming out of the back of the number 6 automobile. I don't know how serious that is. Could be a mechanical problem of some kind. But at any rate, something is rubbing in the number 6 automobile. It's still Donnie Wernter, followed by Wayne Troseth in car number 47. Greg Berry in 22, Mike Jones in 79, and right behind the number 75 of Mike Jones, car number 75. Well, Roland Hill heads for the infield, apparently cannot make it. Don Wernter and Wayne Troseth still battling it out for the number 1 spot with Greg Berry, Mike Jones, Roy George, Billy Joe Meyer, and John England in car number 78, who came out but came out late after the event had gotten the green, and John will get the black flag. So up front it will still be Don Wernter, followed by Wayne Troseth, Greg Berry, Mike Jones, and John England, you said, in the number 78 automobile. And knowing John right now is a bit perturbed. Okay, John, who takes his racing very, very seriously, but he has to get out here and he has to get back underway before the green flag comes out. He did not do that. Action on the far side now. And Donnie Wernter and Wayne Troseth. And Wayne Troseth pulls the 47 car into the pits. Something went away. And Don Wernter right now, your leader up front in car number 6, and a big challenge that was right behind him and sitting in the pits over in turn number 2. Interesting matchup now between Billy Joe Meyer and Troy Jordan. Car number 58 on the inside and 3 on the outside. It is still Don Wernter up front, your leader, followed by Greg Berry. Greg Berry followed by Mike Jones in car number 75. On the backside. And once again, more of a tough way to go. As the top drivers in both racetracks out of action right now, it's still the number 6 of Don Wernter, but right behind him comes the number 22 of Greg Berry. Backside of the racetrack. This is car number 27, Mark Jacobs in the 27 automobile, and Mark is either pulling off or stopping on the backside of the racetrack. Still up front, Don Wernter in the number 6 automobile. Greg Berry in car number 22. Still 75. Mike Jones in the number 75 automobile with the number 6 car, and Mike Jones this time in car number 75 as a yellow flag comes out. So the yellow comes out. Up front on the restart, it will be Donnie Wernter. And Don Wernter, who started this event, number 2 in the point standings. Dan Jacobs had problems early on. He was the point leader. He is in the pits and has not come back out. The top driver from Princeton, Wayne Troseth, is in the pits over in the infield area over in turn number 2, by the way. And he is out of this one. So the top driver from both racetracks out of action here in tonight's feature event. Thank you. Here this summer here at North Central Motor Speedway, which I believe was his first win ever, and picked up a win earlier in the season. Right now, he is leading this one. Right behind him, Greg Berry, of course, in the number 22 car, and this could be a very interesting matchup. Don't count out the driver in the number 58 car either. That's Billy Joe Meyer, and look back there about 3 spots. Remember the guy who qualified for the consolation event, who bested 28 automobiles to win the consolation? Green and white, number 3 driver, a former track champion at the Princeton Speedway. That's Joe Bean in the number 3 automobile. Keep your eye on the number 3 car. Right now, Donnie Wormter pretty much in control of this one, but hey, he has got some great race drivers behind him. Once again, we started out with 22 cars in this event, and Rick Haugland, who, well, we're going to go one more time. As everybody gets, well, Kurt Grupa saw somebody moving up, and I won't mention any names, but the car's yellow and it's got 07 on the side. Remember, we're down to about 10. So this has been a very, very tough race in terms of car attrition as a green flag comes out. Donnie Wormter, Greg Berry. Number 58 of Billy Joe Meyer. Car number 28, Ed Wheeler. The 66 of Jim Hengel. Joe Bean in car number 3. Back there, Roger Anderson in car number 4. And so kind of an interesting turn of events. The top drivers from both racetracks represented here tonight out of action. But it looks like the Mopar of Donnie Wormter up front. And Donnie has been running very well, very strong, very tough all season long. Little action over on the far side. The white flag coming out. And Don Wormter followed by the 22 of Greg Berry, Ed Wheeler, Billy Joe Meyer in 58. Once again, the number 66 automobile of Jim Hengel and Joe Bean. So, Donnie Wormter on the verge of winning what would be his biggest event ever, and the checkered flag's going to come out for him. Greg Berry, the 28, Ed Wheeler, Billy Joe Meyer, Jim Hengel, Joe Bean. Car number 07, Rick Berry, the 73, and 75, Mike Jones. Obviously, it didn't hurt to start up front, but hey, let's not take it away from anybody. It was a great, great, great effort by Donnie Wormter. We're about out of. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Donnie Wormter, your winner of tonight's feature event for the Street Stocks. First of all, Don, congratulations.
Thank you.
Say, you were out there on cruise all night.
Just about, yep, just staying out of trouble.
Obviously, it helps to start up front, but it was a great race, and you had some great competition behind you. And as we mentioned, you know, the interesting matchup tonight, the top driver from both racetracks involved here tonight were out of action, so it's kind of up to you to represent and to sort of hold up the North Central Speedway part of the program, and you did that very well.
I was just curious to see how I was going to run against the Princeton cars, and we did all right.
And of course, this is, I think you told me once that earlier this year you had a feature win. It was the first feature win ever. This is the second feature win. This has to be the biggest win ever for you.
It is. It's really something. I got to thank my crew, though.
Once again, thank the crew.
Yep. And all my sponsors.
Thank the sponsors individually.
Oh, gee. CarQuest, Kenwood Recycling, Mike over at Blue Ox Co-op, Joyce's White Glove, Pakulas Auto Parts, and there's a couple more, but I can't think right now.
Once again, Don, congratulations. Great job.
Thank you, Keith.
Donnie Wormter, ladies and gentlemen, your winner of tonight's feature event for the Street Stocks. Remember, we started out with 48 cars earlier tonight, ended up with that feature winner, Donnie Wormter. Okay. Special feature event for the Street Stocks here at North Central Motor Speedway. Great matchup, nonetheless, between all these drivers and all these cars. And once again, on behalf of all of us here at North Central Speedway, we want to thank everybody and all the drivers who came up for this special event. We really appreciate it. We got one more big feature event to come. And you see those cars lining up over on the far side. And we want to, ladies and gentlemen, one last time ask you to help us out and kick this one off for us as the wissota modified drivers come out of the front straightaway here at North Central Motor Speedway. I know it's late. But we've got one more last hurrah to get these guys underway. 20 of the finest and fastest wissota modifieds in the upper Midwest. And as they come onto the front straightaway, we'd like to ask you to put your arms, your hats in the air, your hands together, and salute the wissota modified drivers as they parade in front of you here, North Central Motor Speedway. And their salute to you, the four abreast, originated years and years ago in the old AAA sprint car racing circuit. And it's their way of saying, hey folks, we appreciate the opportunity to perform for you. We hope that you enjoy our show, and you by responding tell them the very same thing. So once again, one more last final feature event on tonight's program. And as we said, folks, we want to say a special thank you to those of you who are still here. It has been a long night, and I know that the benches aren't all that comfortable, but we appreciate you being here. We've had some super racing. Normally, we will not have 110 cars on any given race night. We will have 75, which is more than enough, but 110, big program tonight, and hey, the response and the way the drivers turned out for this program was absolutely phenomenal, and we want to thank each and every one of them. The 08 on the outside, current point leader Mark Steinke. Third row on the inside, Larry Zeller. On the outside, the 99 of Curly Williams. Down on the inside, Tony Grams, and 22 on the outside, Hank Simon. Down on the inside, the number 9 of Tim Wick. On the outside, the number 8 of Rick backside, Greg Evans, followed by Rob Ader in the 44 automobile. We're still okay. Say a little prayer, folks, that we can get this one in. It is side of the racetrack. On the far side, it is still Greg Evans in the 0 automobile. Greg Evans up front, your leader on the backside. Once again, Rob Ader running in a solid second place. We have a lap. The backside, it is still Greg Evans, Rob Ader, the 08 of Mark Steinke, and the 41 of Larry Zeller. Car number 23, Scott Willis. Greg Evans continues to lead this one. Little action on the south end, and a shot from behind as Tim Grant having nowhere to go. So we get in about 3-4 laps, 3 for sure in this one, as we kind of head down the home stretch for next week. The last time we figured out the points. Green flag out. Well, this time south end it's Rick Ives in the number 8 automobile. Jay Anderson, who happened along. So Jay's okay, and I'm sure that Rick will get it cranked up once again, and he does. Both cars moving. So it's Greg Evans followed by Rob Ader and Mark Steinke, and the green is out. Back on the front straight. into the pit area, and one of the few times we've seen the 41 car have any mechanical problems of any kind, and I believe a flat tire on the passenger side rear. Curly Williams. So the Elite Pools sponsored automobile. Also, you might want to keep your eye on the number 9 of Tim Wendt, who had been put to the rear of the field and has currently moved himself up about 3-4 spots right now, as Dave Boyd trying to find his home over on the far side. Got to slide into his spot. Well, we're looking pretty good. Rob there over on the backside, bringing them around ahead of Greg Ebden, Mark Steinke in car number 08. The number 23 of Scott Willis, followed by Curly Williams in car number 99. Dave Boyd, car number 71. And Larry Zeller, who did manage to get a tire change and get back out here. Some great work by his crew to get this thing cranked up. About 16 cars still running in tonight's feature event. Started with, 18, I believe, so we've lost 2. Green flag is out, and we're back underway. And Mark Steinke battling it out for the number 2 spot And once again, Mark Steinke now moving into the number 2 spot as he tries to close the gap between himself and young Rob Hebert. Start this one out. And on the restart, it will be Mark Steinke, followed by Rob Hebert, Greg Ebden, and Dave Boyd, I believe, in that order. That's obviously where you want to be. Mark Steinke in the 08 automobile, followed by Rob Hebert. And Rob, this time really wants to get a good start, and did. again. As we have lost a few cars in this one, but not too many. Most of the field is still intact. Started with 18 cars, and I think we got about 15 left right now. Everybody bunching up a little bit over on the far side. The green flag comes out. Interesting matchup coming up right now. Tim Wick and John Hinkemeyer as they battle it out to the number 5 spot. Hinkemeyer up alongside, but Tim Wick to the outside line and really staying in position. Rob Azer making another challenge toward the front. He has picked off about 4 or 5 cars. Now going to make a move on Mark Anderson in car number 27. Still up front, Mark Steike in the 08 automobile. And on the backside, it's still Mark Steike, Reagan, Dave Boyd in car number 71 as he has worked his way through the field. The back of Jay Anderson. John Hinkemeyer trying to pick up a little space on the 9 and 10 Wick. But that isn't working. On the backside, Mark Steike up front your leader. This time, Larry Zeller eases on by. John Hinkemeyer and officially that's 5 pounds. It might be off a lap or 2. Well, it isn't. The white flag coming out for Mark Steike in car number 08. Zero Brilliant. On the front side with Greg, Dave Boyd, Anderson, John Hinkemeyer, and Larry Zeller, and John making a valiant effort. They have come up just a bit short, but once again, a super move by John Hinkemeyer, almost pulled it off, but not quite. So, ladies and gentlemen, your winner once again in the 08 automobile, Mark Steike, will be down trackside. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, the winner of tonight's feature event in the 08 automobile. And we're going to come around to the front. We'll get you over here and get you away from a little of that noise. First of all, congratulations. Thank you. Boy, you had some super competition tonight. Rob Azer just putting up a whale of a battle for you. And all in all, it's probably as tougher feature race as you've had all season long.
Yeah, it was really tough. There's a lot of holes out there tonight, and getting her off was a little bit of a problem.
Once again, a great program. A ton of automobiles here tonight. Did you ever expect as many cars as we had here tonight?
Oh, yeah, I think I keep going up here. I think if I can see more cars up here, yeah.
Of course, a great field of modifieds. Once again, 28 cars on hand and some super racing. Mark, you're number 1 in the points. You'll be number 1 in points after tonight's program as well. Congratulations on a great job.
Thank you.
Mark Steike, ladies and gentlemen, your winner of tonight's feature event for the Wissota Modifieds. And with that, we want to take this opportunity once again to thank each and every one of you for being out here with us tonight. It's been a long, long night. We appreciate those of you who are in state for the entire program. Hope that you've enjoyed it half as much as we have. And once again, thanks a bunch on behalf of all of us here at North Central Speedway. Now we want you to take it easy on the way home. Drive carefully. We want all of you back with us next Saturday night for another full program of mini stocks, super stocks, street stocks, and Wissota Modified racing action. Keep in mind, we'll have a couple of extra extra features next week. An extra feature for the street stocks and also the modifieds makeups of a week ago. So some special race action coming up next weekend as well. 4 weeks left of the racing season. The last race date will be the 1st of September. We hope that each and every one of you will be with us each and every one of those